All right, welcome everyone to Political Playtime with John.
Yo.
And my name's Lou. Today we want to talk about immigration, but a little different on immigration than most conversations you hear. We want to try to break it down why there's so much hatred. And in some cases it's understood.
Oh, and especially what's going on in Europe.
In Europe, about here. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Remember this a few years back? The cab drivers, the Muslim cab drivers in LAX would ask people, do you have a bottle of alcohol? Did you buy a bottle of alcohol at the duty-free shop? Is it in your bags? And if someone said, yeah, I have, when you can't see it, it's buried in their bags, you're not riding in my cab.
Weren't they asking people if they have dogs too?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Well, obviously they would see you with a little dog.
Yeah.
They'd say, you're not allowed in my cab.
Yeah.
You know, they show up from another country with their own religion or beliefs, right? They come here, or Europe and other countries, and then democracies, because if they don't go to a democracy, they're put in their place right away.
Oh, right away.
Right
yeah.
away.
Even in some democracies,
Even in some, yeah. But in a democracy, what do they do? Oh, this is a democracy, so you know what? Now you have to respect my beliefs and abide by my beliefs.
Yeah,
I don't have to respect yours.
We want to turn your country into the shithole we came from.
Yeah, and we don't have to respect yours, but you have to respect ours.
And this isn't being racist anyway.
No, it's not.
Based on what's going on.
Well, let's talk about what creates hatred. So can you imagine you've flown out of LAX for years for business, all the time. Now you get one of those drivers who says, no, you're not allowed in my cab because you have a bottle of booze that I can't even see in your bag.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed in my car. That person's going to go, you know what, man, screw you.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw you.
Yeah.
I've never had to deal with this in my life. What the hell is this? Then don't be a cab driver.
And then what happens is that the experience that person has with that particular cab driver, he'll in most cases automatically go, oh, they're all no good.
Human nature.
Yeah, it's human nature.
Oh, you want another example? White person gets robbed by a black person.
Yeah.
They call the police.
Right. First
First thing they're going to say when the police shows up, this black guy robbed me.
Yeah.
If it's a white guy that robs the white person, they're going to say, yeah, this guy robbed me.
Yeah.
This guy robbed me.
Yeah. But
if it's a white person getting, so the police officer
or Hispanic for that matter,
description, he already knows. Okay, I already know it's a black guy. It's the first thing that came out of your mouth. Let's say this too. Oh, and the radical left are going to hate this. If a black person gets robbed by a white person, the first thing they're going to tell the police is, this white boy robbed me.
Exactly. Or honky or whatever.
If they get robbed by another black person, they'll say, yeah, this guy robbed me.
Yeah, it works both ways.
It works both ways, man. The problem with the crazy left is, no, I agree with what you said the first time, but this, you're not allowed to say that. You can't say that.
Well, the crazy left is just as bad as the crazy right.
Hey, for those radicals, right or left, I'll give you an example going back to the 70s from All in the Family. For those of the older audience might know this, younger audience, what the hell's All in the Family?
Yeah, which surprisingly is something they could not play now.
Of course not. Oh my God. The reason is you'd have no sponsors.
Yeah.
Companies would say, oh, I'm not touching this show.
Yeah, because all the professionally offended would get out and protest.
I am not touching this show. But here's an example of racism, folks. When the Jeffersons wanted to move into the neighborhood, Archie and all the people in the neighborhood were all white, were trying to get a petition out to keep them out, to keep the black family out of the neighborhood, the Jeffersons, which they ended up moving into the neighborhood because Archie also liked Lionel, and because Lionel was friends before they even moved in. Yeah. So now the Jeffersons moved in, Archie hated it. George Jefferson was as racist as Archie.
Yeah, he was a black version of Archie.
But then, and his brother, George's brother, lived with them. Henry Jefferson lived with George and his wife and Lionel. Then a Puerto Rican family wanted to move into the neighborhood. Henry Jefferson, the black man, and Archie Bunker, the white guy, were buddies.
Trying to get the Puerto Ricans not to move in.
Because they didn't want the Puerto Ricans to move in. People talk about racism, yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Listen, Chinese people don't like Japanese people.
Well, the Chinese have a reason. Yeah, there's history there. Yeah.
There's history. But there's Pakistan and India have nuclear weapons pointed at each other. Turkey and Greece. I mean, there's so many examples to use.
Well, Turkey and Greece don't have nuclear weapons pointing at each other, but they hate each other.
Pakistan and India, when they got nuclear weapons, people were celebrating in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Hatred, there's always hatred everywhere. But I'll give you an example, like Europe, for example. There are so many people that consider themselves moderate, but they see the immigration, they see their country changing. They see areas they knew growing up, or their parents, that they now know.
They can't even go in there.
I can't even go there.
Yeah.
Because if I go there, I'm putting my life at risk. They see things changing in a way that they don't like. And you know what? And rightfully to not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
To not like it. To say, what is going on here?
You used to be safe, you can walk the streets at night, now look at it.
I'll give you folks an example. This is a friend of mine told me this story. She's from, family's from Spain. So this is about an older gentleman, a friend of her father, and we're talking about an old gentleman, I think 80s or
something like that, yeah.
In Spain, he lives in Spain his whole life. He got robbed at knife point by 2 kids from Morocco.
Yeah.
At knife point. He'd probably never been robbed before in his life. And here it is,
Probably
2
not.
Moroccan children. And
Yeah.
they were kids, 2 little boys,
Yeah.
with knives, robbed this old man.
Yeah.
Do you think that that old man then is like, wait a minute, these people are coming here, they're destroying my country.
Right.
Not just that man, at one person.
No, there's more.
Everybody who knows, finds out about it,
Yeah.
is going to go, yeah, see what these immigrants come here and do? They're ruining our country.
Well, look at France.
And what are these people doing?
and
They're
Germany.
going to these right-wingers that
they are.
their whole platform is what?
Anti-immigrant.
Anti-immigrant.
Well, it looks like Marine Le Pen may end up winning the next election.
Because people that weren't that direction, through experience and seeing things, watching the news, and all, they start saying, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is my country. These people come from other places and are destroying
No
it.
questions asked.
Does it mean that these immigrants, that they're destroying something? No, it doesn't. It takes 2%
Yeah.
to be bad.
Yeah.
For people to then look at the other 98% as bad. It's human nature. You know,
And this isn't being racist again.
no,
but
we're just saying it's
the demographics.
human nature.
The demographics in Europe, especially Germany, France, although the French, it's mostly Africans, North Africans, and Middle Easterns.
Because, let's face it, these European countries too had colonization. So they feel obligated to,
In some cases, yeah.
to let people in because they colonized them. They made money off of
And they
off
won't,
of them.
and most of them, like France, they let them, oh, yeah, just let them do what they want. You know, there's other countries, like Portugal, for example, as far as I know, if they come from some other country, okay, you're going to go learn the language, the culture, you're going to behave your ass. They did that with some refugees from, I think, Syria or someplace.
Because some people will assimilate, right?
Yes.
And some will not.
No, some will not.
And that happens in this country as well. You have people coming here from Latin America that have been here 30 years, do not speak a word of English.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's,
Now, their kids do.
yeah, their kids do.
The next generation.
Although, in some
They
cases, even their kids
Yeah, but in
don't.
most cases, children start going to
Oh, yeah,
school.
yeah.
And you know what? They also, maybe mom or dad mom's a cleaning lady, or dad picks vegetables or fruit, you know, whatever, a migrant worker. But the children then go get an education, and then the parents, of course, want them to do better, right?
Yeah, it all depends on where they're
want them to
from.
do better than them.
Yeah, it all depends on where they're from.
But you know, there's the hatred here for immigrants, because here's another example. If you live in Texas or Arizona, a woman gets raped by a white guy, someone who lives in a neighborhood. That guy, that scumbag, raped that woman. If it's a Mexican person,
Oh,
that Mexican did it.
yeah, even if it was a Mexican that's like third or fourth generation
Exactly.
American.
Who barely speaks Spanish.
Yeah,
If-
or doesn't.
at all.
At all,
Or
yeah.
At all. But that's just human nature. Just how it is.
It is. There's not much you can do about
You
it.
know, the hatred towards immigration here, you know who likes immigration, even if it's illegal immigration in numbers, are retail stores, gas stations.
Farmers, agricultural sector, they're
Because
the
these
biggies.
people they're working, they're spending money. Are they taking people's jobs? In some cases, yes.
Yeah.
in construction. But you know what? Who you should need to go after? You need to go after the companies that are hiring them.
Right, they have laws on the books, but they don't go after these companies.
Exactly. Now you have another issue too. Oh yeah, all these immigrants coming in and all that. Yeah, and guess what? They're picking fruits, they're picking vegetables, because you can't go to a high school like the military sends recruiters into high schools, right? When we were in school.
Oh, they've done that
recruiters
forever.
are there
Yeah.
trying to recruit you fresh out of high school. You're not going to send recruiters in the United States to high schools to say to them, hey kid, you're a senior, you're graduating in 2 months. We got a great job for you right out of high school. You're going to go pick peaches in Georgia. You're going to get peanuts.
Yeah, literally peanuts.
Peanuts. Or since we're talking about Georgia, maybe you'll pick peanuts too.
Yeah, yeah.
But, or peaches or whatever.
Pick
We're gonna
peanuts
pay
and
you
get
squat.
Pick peanuts and get paid in peaches.
Yeah, you're going to work 10 or 12 hours. We're going to pay you diddly shit. You don't get insurance, you don't get anything, and we're paying you crap, and you're going to be out in the sun, out in the heat all day long. Of course, American high school graduates are going to go, okay, where do I sign?
Oh yeah.
Where do I sign for this? I want to do this. Or you're going to do roofing. You're going to do roofing in Florida, for example, in the summer. It's 96 degrees out, the sun is brutal, and you're going to be spreading tar on the roof. How many high school kids are going to go, yeah, where do I sign up for that?
Oh, tons.
So we have an issue, right? We need immigrants.
Yeah,
Because we have jobs Americans don't want to do.
exactly.
They just don't want to do them, especially young people. You know, older people tend to say, God, if physically I would if I could because I need the money.
Right.
Young people?
But young kids, no, they have no clue.
What?
They're not preparing for life, they have no clue.
Because they think they're going to be out there. Well, they know they're not going to be out there sitting under a peach tree with a ladder there, and they're sitting on the grass by the tree, talking on their phones or texting.
Yeah.
Instead of picking peaches all day long on ladders.
Planning on being a record producer or something.
Yeah. So, what are you going to do in this country without immigrants? They do take jobs. They take jobs in construction, and other industries as well. That is true.
Yeah, but by the same token, even the illegals, people say they don't pay taxes, they don't pay this diddly. Of course they pay taxes.
Of course they do.
Every time they buy something, they're paying the sales tax.
Not only that, the owner of the company has to pay that person in cash.
In
right?
cash.
So the owner of the company is going to take that income as personal income.
personal and pay the taxes
Go to
on
the
it.
bank, get cash, and then give them cash. So the owner of the company is going to pay taxes on income as if it's theirs.
Or if they're working with somebody else's social security number, the money's coming out of their pay. So either way, if they rent,
listen,
property taxes come out of that rent.
taxes always end up getting paid.
So
somehow,
it's
some way,
not like they don't pay taxes.
they end up. The money ends up, you know, making it to where it needs to go, no matter who it came from. It just gets there. But you know, like in Europe and here, look how similar. People that even would consider themselves, you know, moderates or whatever, start going hardcore. Oh yeah, I don't agree with the abortion policy on the right, the gun policy. I don't want to agree with any of that. But the immigration thing, I do.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah.
And that's what some people will say. The immigration thing, I do. We can't let these people in. Boom. Now you've got some people. They might disagree with you on a lot of stuff, but that one's big to them.
Look at what happened in France when they wanted to raise the retirement age.
Yeah, people.
France blew up.
Right. Well, we're talking immigration, huh?
Right, but a lot of people, left and right, the whole gamut of French people were against it.
They united.
And now, with the immigration, the right wing has always been, but now you got people from the left wing, they're starting to go over on the immigration.
Exactly. You're pulling people over on that one subject. People can disagree on everything else, but you hit a nerve with me on immigration. I agree with you on the immigration issue. So I'm going to start voting for those people.
Especially the people that have witnessed what's going on.
Or like I said,
people that live in
who,
Paris.
for example, their neighborhoods even are changing.
Oh yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're seeing, it's not that what just they're seeing, but all of a sudden they realize, and this does happen, anybody says, oh, that's racist. No, it does happen a lot, where all of a sudden the crime
rate goes up, yeah.
In areas where there was no crime or low crime, because there's a reason too, you got a lot of immigrants coming over with no skills.
Yeah.
So they have to survive somehow as well. Now some countries, they'll put the kids in school, some countries spend a lot of money on immigrants, but it gets to the point where people are like, and look at these European countries, you're paying 40-something% tax.
Yeah.
And they're like, how long do we have to support people coming in from other countries, providing them health care, providing
especially
this, providing
people that are unwilling to assimilate.
That's an issue.
Which is especially in France, because there's no rules or anything about assimilation when they come in. They just, oh, come on in, do your thing. That's how the French have been. So now they're paying for it.
Yeah, because then some of these, when they're in a cluster in an area, in numbers, then they tell you, you are going to respect our beliefs.
Yeah.
We're going to do what we want. You have to take it. Okay, but you're coming into our country. We don't give a shit about you guys. We're here now, so you're going to go by what we believe in. Like I was saying in LAX, right? You have a dog with you? You're not getting in my cab.
Look at Denmark.
Dude, go do something else.
Denmark, democracy. I think they're trying to pass a law to prohibit the burning of the Quran. Some democracy. They can burn the Bible or anything else, but they don't want to stop burning the Quran because Denmark's a bunch of pussies.
You know, it's these people, these crazy people on the left. There are people on the right that are reasonable. There are people on the left that are reasonable.
Yeah, but that's usually the people towards the middle.
Yes, they can agree and disagree on a lot of things.
Yeah.
They're not going to agree on everything.
No, that's not.
Or disagree on everything either. But when you have those fringes that don't even agree with their side on anything because they're so extreme.
Yeah.
Look at the MAGAs with the Republicans. The Republicans are like shackled by the MAGA side. That's a minority. These people want to impose their will. But with immigration, I mean, it's so easy to understand why. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm not saying it's right. It's not right if one person from one country commits a crime. Now they're all that.
Yeah, now they're all paying for it.
Like Trump, right? Oh, they're sending over all the rapists and all that.
Yeah,
no, most of the people coming here are just looking. They're coming from countries where they have no future.
Oh yeah.
Future. The government doesn't give a shit. Mexico's got some oil money flowing in, tourism money flowing in. They export a lot of stuff. In fact, companies working there.
Supposedly now there's less Mexicans coming in. Most of them are like from Central America, Guatemala, those places there.
Countries that you don't want to live in.
Yeah, El Salvador. I mean, it's just.
And they have no future.
No, there's no future in those countries.
But as human beings, they're going to do what they have to try to. I mean, so there are so many that come here illegally. They're working here. They go to a supermarket or buy money orders to send home all the money home.
Yeah.
To feed their families because they can't make it there.
They'll live like 4 or 5 in a room. Yeah.
Drug gangs that rule over cities and towns.
Well, El Salvador is a big example. They just went after them.
You know, but the United States. All right, send money to Ukraine, in Ukraine. Why don't you go work on these countries here because that's why people are coming here.
Well, that's because the U.S. likes it the way it is, so because our corporations are out there exploiting their natural resources.
Or it's a country where there's nothing to gain.
Yeah, who cares? We don't care.
Yeah, like Haiti. Look at Haiti.
Yeah, like Haiti.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Disaster. But if there's no money to make, why do we care? Well, then don't bitch that these people are coming here in droves.
Well, even if there is money to make, these people still live in poverty over there.
They're coming here because as Americans, if there was an earthquake that covered the entire United States, it just decimated the United States. There's no food here. There's no anything anymore. The United States has been destroyed. Guess what Americans are going to do? They're not going to sit there in tents going, well, I guess that's it. No,
they're taking off to Canada.
The kids, we're going to Canada.
Or Mexico.
Yeah.
Or Haiti.
I don't know if they'll go to Haiti.
Yeah,
They'll probably go, you know what, I'd rather be here than Haiti.
Yeah.
But we're going to go somewhere because we don't have a choice, honey. So grab the kids and the dog.
Let's get the hell out of here.
We're going to Canada or Mexico, or we're going to Mexico, we'll go all
Cuba.
the way through Latin America.
Yeah, we're moving to Cuba.
Until we can find a place where we can eat.
Yeah.
That's what Americans would do too.
Yeah, of course.
Human beings want to survive.
And a lot of Americans have already left. I mean, people are leaving.
Yeah, the thing about America, which makes sense, is most people that leave, and there are a lot, that leave the United States to go live in Europe, for example. It's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
It's mostly Americans that are okay.
Yeah.
That can afford to move to Portugal or Spain.
Or better educated and everything else, yeah.
Because they sold their house here that they bought for $200,000. They sold it for $2 million. Now they got cash and they go to Europe.
Yeah. And they raise the prices.
And poor people or just working class people, they don't have that ability. They don't have that option. They just don't. But that's an example, I think, for Americans to hear. Something happened in this country where you could no longer live in the United States. You're packing up the pickup or the van, the minivan or whatever, and you're headed to Mexico.
Or we're at the closest place, yeah.
And then the Mexicans are going to go, what the hell now? These guys?
Yeah.
You didn't want us there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, but we're here now. Now it's ours.
Yeah.
Now it's ours. Payback is a bitch.
And the Canadians go, oh shit, eh?
Eh? What's all this about?
Yeah.
What's all this about?
And the French Canadians go, merde.
Yeah, merde. Well, the Canadians can take in people. They got
plenty of room.
They got plenty of room there.
Yeah.
They just don't want them.
That they do. I can't blame them.
Yeah. But, just talk about, we're not criticizing. I think I also mentioned too, necessity for immigrants, right? So I'm not criticizing immigration.
Well, a lot of them do leave for necessity. I mean, that's obvious.
Of course they do.
Well, when you're talking like about the Middle East, all the wars in the Middle East created by this country and the help by the Europeans.
And even within their own country, their own people,
even
battling
within
each other.
So you
different tribes and different religions.
Oh, that's
and different
been going on
sects.
for years.
People are like, I gotta get the hell out of
But
here.
you got, say, Iraq. The U.S. invades Iraq. They've got help from a bunch of different countries. Guess what? We got all these Iraqi refugees going to Europe. Same thing with Syria.
And I have 3 daughters, right?
Yeah.
So if I live in Afghanistan with 3 daughters, you don't think I'm going to try to get my daughters out of there?
Well, it depends.
Well, if I'm a religious nut job, no.
Then you're going to sell them off for
But
a pig or something.
If I'm not a religious nut,
wait a minute. No, you'd sell them off not for a pig.
and so
for a
many
donkey or something.
Afghanis have left, and women, doctors, people, educated people have left.
Yeah.
Because you got those religious nut jobs running that place.
And that's one of the reasons.
So you know what? I would try to get out of Afghanistan if I have daughters, even if I didn't, just to get the hell out of there. Now these guys are back in power. Oh, great.
And the Soviets.
We're going far.
The Soviets were in Afghanistan to help maintain that government. That was a socialist government at one point.
And then they realized.
And then they realized it's a losing battle.
Cluster, you know what?
Yeah, it's a clusterfuck.
It's costing us money.
Might as well get the hell out of
costing
here.
us
And then what happened? Then it went to shit.
And then these guys were in there too?
Yeah, and then it went to shit.
Left too.
Yeah.
What was it some comedian said? If there's anything we've learned from Afghanistan, it's stay out of Afghanistan. I don't remember who said that. Do you remember?
I think a bunch of countries learned that. Yeah.
But I think somebody, it was a comedian or something. If
It might have been.
You learned about Afghanistan, it's stay out of Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you do is spend money, destroy.
Yeah.
Your soldiers get killed and maimed, and then you end up.
The Soviets left. It goes to shit. And then the U.S. invades. They leave. Goes to shit again.
And that'll be the cycle. So you know.
And that's going to be the cycle. Afghanistan's a lost cause.
Maybe Haiti's going to invade.
I don't think so.
And they'll fix it.
You know, Afghanistan can probably learn something from Haiti.
Yeah, how to deforestation.
Well, they don't have a forest anyway.
Burning everything, destroying everything. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, just think about what we said on immigration and human nature. On human nature, when something happens, how people can automatically blame an entire race or a nation over one person's actions, and that's just the way it is all over the world.
Yeah, it's not going to change anytime soon.
All over the world. It's not an American thing.
No.
All right, folks, so we'll talk to you again soon. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. We appreciate the support. If you'd like, leave a comment as well. We appreciate it. All right, take care.